just prior to that, I said, I want to get better, and I want to be as good a teacher as I can be. I don't have a teaching degree. I work with adults and help them grow their business and teach workshops, but kids are different. I don't know what to do with these little 4- and 5-year-olds. I know how to love on them. I know how to be silly and have fun, but how do I teach them? How do I get them to listen better? So I got a bunch of books. In one of these books, I read that a way to get kids to listen to you is when one child does something good, you want to say, wow, look at Natalia, look how good she's being. You want to praise them heavily and make sure everybody's paying attention, because then they want that praise too. See, it starts when we're kids, but it continues. That sound familiar? Something I just said a minute ago. So that's what you do, and I go, oh, that sounds brilliant. I'm going to use that, right? I know what I'm doing. So we go to our first class. We're sitting in class, and we start the day with playtime, because some parents will show up late, and so therefore their kids show up late. And we don't want to be in the middle of a lesson and kids walk in, and now everybody's distracted because a kid walked in late. And they're playing with, we start with Play-Doh a lot of times to start the day, to keep them engaged. Plus, this is it's a good learning toy. It inspires creativity. And they're all playing with their Play-Doh. Little boy walks in, there's a seat next to Natalia, and she looks over, and all the Play-Doh is already dispersed. There's none left. And the little boy sits next to Natalia, and Natalia goes, let me show you. She takes her Play-Doh, she looks over at the boy, and she goes like this. Here you go. She just hands him half of her Play-Doh. And I was like, wow. And all the parents in the room, we work on sharing a lot at that age. She just did it on her own. And I thought, wow, that's fantastic. I like this little girl. And then I thought, oh, I got to use that thing that I learned in that book. I got to praise her. I go, wow, everybody, look at that. Natalia she just shared her Play-Doh and nobody had to ask. Isn't that great? Natalia is so good. And I was real proud of myself, and all the room was quiet because they were listening to the praise, and that's what they want too. And Natalia goes, I wasn't good this morning. She just killed it for me. But it did work because, all the kids were listening. We had fun with it. I don't know what to say about that, but it was funny. But it did work. They did want that recognition. It did work. But the only reason I knew to do that, it didn't just come natural to me. Maybe for some of you it would. Maybe for some of you moms it would. See, I didn't have kids yet. So I didn't know to do that. So what do? I go out and I get books. I collect data. I form my own little CIA, and I pull in information as much as I can, and I put it in here, and then when something arises, it'll just come to me. That's how the brain works. You don't have to have a manual in front of you every time. You want to take on as much information, consume as much information as you possibly can, and you'll get ideas. Form your own little CIA.